Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Season 7, Week 4 of the ABL season as Dynasty eSports take on the First Blood Marauders. I'm your play-by-play caster, Milkisiro, and joining me as my color caster is Koyaki. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm rusty as heck, but I'm ready. Let's go.
Well, I'm sure we've got an absolutely fantastic game underway. Dynasty currently sitting second in the standings, but tied with First Blood Marauders, who are first and haven't dropped a single game as we enter picks and bans. And that Kiana already getting banned away, followed by the Kai'Sa and the Aatrox.
Okay. Well, so far it seems like we're getting pretty standard bans. Oh, Nico. See, I'm not really too up to date with like the current meta. Is Nico really that much of a problem? And is it AP Nico or is it AD Nico? Do you know?
I think we saw last week an AD on hit Nico coming through. Actually, I believe it was from the side of Dynasty eSports. So they're the ones who banned it out. So potentially just giving some respect to that pick, as we're also going to be seeing the Yuumi ban coming through.
Yeah, Yuumi in the bot lane is just... It's just, you get poked and you can't do much about it unless you have some jungle pressure to like help you out. So, not really too surprised from that. Oh wait.
We're getting some notifications that it's a Sejuani ban coming through, and straight away Dynasty eSports picking up the Yuumi.
There you go. Okay, but we got the Lux in response, so there's gonna be some poke, but Lux can cancel that out with her W max. So, pretty even there. I do like the Olaf pick coming in, but that also seems like they might have to close the game out before 35-ish minutes, because otherwise Olaf will start to fall off.
Oh, the Ezreal getting hovered. So Ezreal Yuumi, a very, very strong lane matchup, as that Jarvan going to come through as well. So a pretty strong setup so far from Dynasty eSports.
Yeah, the Jarvan's going to be really, really good for that team fight potentials later on. And just the Ezreal Yuumi is such an oppressive lane. Oh, but we have a Caitlyn Lux, which is also an oppressive lane. But the thing is, Yuumi has more sustain than Lux does. Lux is more of like, she needs to be responsive in the poke, while Yuumi can just kind of heal it off. So I guess it'll just depend on how the players play the matchup.
Yeah, I'm also so interested to see how Dynasty are going to ban, because that Lux could get flexed to the mid lane, and then maybe we could even see a Morgana Caitlyn coming through, which is probably just a teensy bit scarier than the Caitlyn Lux.
It is a teensy bit scarier, but they will have to be very careful when it comes to the poke, because they will get poked down really easily unless Morgana opts to go for the E max instead of like a Q max.
So we're going to be seeing
even
that.
Then,
we're going to see the Kennen. As we're going to see the Kennen and the Azir getting banned away again. Both of those absolutely massive in teamfights as a gangplank coming through. Something that we did see Rat pick up, I believe it was last week against Recon 5. And he was the MVP of the series. So good to see that they're focusing a couple of bans towards him.
Now, what I'm wondering is, depending on what the last two champions from both sides are going to be, right now, it seems that the other side, is it the Marauders? I'm sorry, I still don't, not too yeah, Marauders. It seems like they may have a more mid-late game focused team comp, while the Olaf is just gonna fall off, and Caitlyn isn't really that well off later on either. Like, she has the range, but the amount of poke damage that Ezreal can do later on, accompanied with the Yuumi on like a bruiser, is just gonna be ridiculous. Oh, the Corki's coming through. Okay, that's some late game damage a little bit.
Well, there you have, as the Orianna, the control mage. Kessler likes these control mages, and the Orianna being hovered for now, I think he likes his Syndra as well, so that could get picked up, but most likely going to be seeing this Corki into the Orianna in the mid lane.
Yeah, and the Orianna is going to do very, very, very well with the Jarvan alongside a Yuumi.
As the Orianna is locked in, and now that Vladimir getting shown, getting hovered as well. And I do like, you know, the kind of team comp that Dynasty are drafting, because it's kind of obvious, isn't it? You know, Orianna puts the ball on top of Jarvan, Jarvan goes in, maybe with a Yuumi on top, and bish bash bosh, it's a lot of CC coming in.
Yeah, and so we have some rush down from both sides, and we have a decent amount of poke from both sides. So both teams seem to be pretty balanced overall. I think it might literally just come down to the level of the players, in all honesty. At least that's what I'm seeing by the comps. Because there's nothing there that I don't really not like from either side.
And one thing I really do want to bring up, because this is the battle for first place, and it's such an important game for both these sides. And a stat that I do want to bring up is currently on the top of the leaderboard in kills in this league, in the ABL league, is DTS, the mid laner from First Blood Marauders, currently sitting on 57 kills from 6 games. That's almost 10 kills a game. And the second highest kills comes from Kessler, who's a Dynasty mid laner, on 46 kills from 8 games. So these are two power-hungry mid laners, Orianna, Corki, and I feel like the entire game could revolve around this, and it could be a lot of kills coming in.
I mean, it could be a lot of kills coming in, but also just by looking at both of these teams, I think they're probably going to want to play it more methodical. Because, like, yeah, bot side has a lot of poke, but they don't necessarily have a lot of all-in unless you get the Caitlyn and Lux traps, like, you know, perfectly. Otherwise, it just seems like they want to just poke each other out and try to see who gives first or who forces their jungler to come down first. Mid lane, I kind of see the same thing. They just want to poke each other out. And when it comes to top lane, I don't really know what's going to happen. I think maybe Camille will try and, you know, mess the Vladimir up a little bit. But besides that, I don't really think any lane really wants to go hard on the kills early on. Maybe once we get a tower down and we start going into the big team fights, we'll start to see some blood. But I don't really see too much monkey business happening early on.
And you mentioned those junglers. With Dynasty, Velvet on the J4 and Mike playing on this Olaf, where can you expect to see both teams focusing their jungle resources, especially in this early part of the game?
Alright, in all honesty, I think that Olaf might want to focus a lot of his time. Like, if he... Okay, I'm sorry. I'm looking at all the possibilities. If he actually wants to make it so that his bot lane doesn't have a terrible time in the bot lane, he should try to focus more on bot and maybe commit to get Corki going so Corki can actually start roaming with his package. Otherwise, he can leave the bot lane to just fend for themselves, hope they don't die, and just try to make sure this Vladimir cannot get rolling at all. And then Camille can probably come down for, you know, some TP ganks or like some 4-man ganks in the bot lane.
Okay.
I think he can really go either way there.
Well, we'll have to pay attention then to see how Velvet and Mike do decide to juggle. I mean, you mentioned that Olaf kind of falls off early game, but with that Corki being picked up for the side of First Blood Marauders, is there any kind of advantage in terms of early versus late game from either team here?
Oh, I think you got it confused. I said that Olaf falls off late game, but it's fine. I think I understand what you're trying to say. When it comes to early game, I think that I want to say that probably the side with the Olaf has the advantage. Not only just because once Olaf gets 6, he can basically just run it down on anybody, and if he's accompanied by the Camille, they can literally just run it down on anyone. Corki won't really have much damage early on, unless he has his package, and Lux and Caitlyn will kind of just be there to just help CC people. Later on, though, I do think the side with Ezreal and Yuumi and the Jarvan and the Orianna just have so much teamfight threat that they will basically decide when they want to fight, as long as they're not too split up. If I see like a 1-3-1, I'm not too sure if we're going to be seeing any initiated team fights from the side with Ezreal and Yuumi, just because it just seems like they're wasting a lot of their potential. I'd like to see probably a full ARAM down the mid lane, or minimum a 4-1, just to use the wombo that they have.
Yeah, we'll have to see whether Dynasty how they'll look to split push. If they decide to split push at all, or, as you mentioned, go for that ARAM, the Orianna Shockwave combined with that Cataclysm for sure will be something to watch out for. And as we mentioned, can Dynasty hold on until they get to that point where they can outscale? We're getting to the end of the loadout, so we can start to see now some of the summoner spells that are getting picked up, and Bishop filling in for Swifty as the ADC for Dynasty today. And obviously he's able to pick up that TP just because, you know, Friesman on the Yuumi doesn't have to go with a flash and can pick up the heal in Ezreal's stead.
Yep, and I do find it interesting that she has chosen the Ignite over an Exhaust there. So they might actually be going for some, you know, early game shenanigans in the bot lane. But if that's the case, I do expect that Jarvan will have some attention down there, because even though a Yuumi lane has a lot of poke, they don't necessarily have anything to, like, you know, close off a kill. They can poke you down, but unless you're not a decent player, you know to, like, back off after a while. You need someone who can help you lock down those kills. So Jarvan will probably have to be down there if they want to get some kills. So Caitlyn and Lux better be warding, and they better be respecting any time Yuumi feels like either walking up to them to get, like, you know, some shields, or going off to ward to make it an obvious bait, all that good stuff.
Yeah, and of course, Tibbs as well on that Camille has the TP, and then the Hexic Ultimatum could just turn those fights around in the bot lane as well if Bishop and Friesman get a little bit too aggressive with that Ezreal Yuumi.
Yep. So overall, as I said, I think all lanes are probably going to play pretty methodical. I don't really see any of them really trying too hard to kill each other unless they have some jungle assistance. Otherwise, they're just going to be poking each other down, doing small trades or big trades with regards to the bot lane. And yeah, it'll just be who can play their lane better. You have the champions, you have all the tools. Just go for it.
The final thing we can mention, though, before we go into break is now that all the summoner spells have been locked in, Kessler going with that the barrier. He was hovering the TP, but deciding to go for the barrier on the Orianna, which is something that we do see fairly often.
That's actually probably going to be pretty good for them in the mid lane, because of Olaf maybe wanting to, like, focus more on the top side if he leaves his bot lane basically out to dry for a bit. So that's also pretty good respect from the Corki when he does get his package too.
Right, well, all things considered, this is going to be an absolutely exhilarating best of 3. Both these teams undefeated in terms of series, and First Blood Marauders have not dropped a game in the 6 matches. We're going to be heading into a short break, and we'll be right back with the start of Game 1 between Dynasty eSports and First Blood Marauders. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the first game between Dynasty eSports and First Blood Marauders. And we are straight into a pause. However, I believe this is a sign from God. It's a perfect time to do our gamely plugs, shall we say. So, thank you guys, everyone who is currently watching. Don't forget to give us a subscribe. All the proceeds from your subscriptions do go towards making the stream better for all of you guys. And on top of that, if you subscribe, you get these neat things called points. Now, points you can get from subscribing. You can also get it from following, tipping, and hosting. And just in case you're wondering, Milky, what are these points? Why do we want them? Well, at the end of the season, at the end of the ABL season, the person with the most points in the league gets $10 on their PayPal account. So that's a pretty good reason to do that. And we want to wish a very, very happy birthday to our own Audio. And just in case you don't know, Audio, he's a lovely guy. He does some production, he does some color cast, he does some play-by-play casting. And what he wants all of you guys to do, he's told me this personally. He wants all of you to go on Twitch and roulette all of your points. So you roulette wheel all your points. It's double or nothing. So all of your points that you currently have got from subscribing, following, you roulette them. So either you double them or you lose all of them. And Audio loves doing this. It's a great game he loves to play. So please do this. We want to see the Twitch chat filled with those roulette commands. So on that note, though, let's get back into serious stuff with this game.
Yeah, alright. So I think the first thing we want to mention, Lux. What is that?
Yes.
We got the dank Guardian Lux coming on downstairs. Not really too sure how I feel about it. I mean, whenever I play /see Lux, it's either Aftershock, obviously. They almost say Guardian. No. Aftershock, Harry, or Comet. I don't know what this Guardian stuff is. Did they think they were playing Rakan? I don't know, but I mean, I haven't seen it yet. Maybe it's super OP. Who knows?
Yeah. And of course, Tibbs, Arcane Comet on that Camille. What is this?
That's, in my opinion, that's just ultimate disrespect for the Vladimir. So we can expect them to be very, very, very aggressive, just spamming. Is that her? That's not her Q. That's her W, I believe, right? Just spamming it over and over and over again, trying to get that extra damage. I should see like minimum 1k damage from Comet at 15 minutes. Let's go. So we got the disrespect in the top lane, and we got some sleeper OP in the bot lane. It's already looking good.
I would like to know if that's just accidentally picking Guardian instead of Aftershock from B-Tank, or if that's intentional from the side of First Blood Marauders. Either way, hopefully we get to find out at the end of the game. But both teams just finding out, making sure we don't see any early invades coming through from either side.
I find it pretty interesting that we're not... Well, I understand the stack, but we're not seeing the stereotypical 5-point from the First Blood Marauders, which is pretty interesting, but they don't really lose much off of it. Though, going back to the Guardian, I can see it working if she times her shield right. Basically, if she shields reactively and gets that Guardian proc off.
Oh, First Blood Marauders are now coming in. And it's right after Dynasty decided to leave their 5-man stack outside the red brush. And they're actually going to be able to get the flash from Bishop, as now they're going to force Dynasty just to pull it all the way back. They get the smite as well from Dorjan, and they will head back off on their way. But that's a bit of a shame for Mike, because he's going to take a little bit of time now to get his first clear.
Yeah. Also, Ezreal did lose his flash, but in this lane, they don't really want to be too close to the Caitlyn or the Lux anyway, so it shouldn't really be too bad. He just has to make sure that, you know, his fancy feet is up until he gets level 3.
Yeah. And the first Drake of this game is actually going to be an Infernal Drake. So, I mean, with Priamphia on that Caitlyn and the Lux, is a lot of poke, a lot of early game poke. Surely they should have the priority for this early and very aggressive Drake.
Yes, and since it is also a Caitlyn, if she wants to, as of right now,
Oh, as Priamfeya might be getting caught out a little bit. The light binding not gonna land. The flash comes through, and the heal will keep Priamfeya alive. But that's a really good trade coming through from the Dynasty bot lane.
Yeah, for an Ezreal Yumi, that it's actually is really, really good. Oh, that is so unfortunate. All right, now they need to know. They gotta respect the cat. You gotta respect the cat and the little boy. All right. Actually, the problem with that was they didn't get level 2. I will really commend Bishop and Freezeman on that. They got level 2 and they didn't even stop. They just went hard on it.
Yeah.
Also, unfortunately, I don't even did her Guardian even proc? No, because she didn't have shield. So, and they weren't really that close to each other, were they?
Oh, as DTS might be getting caught out. Flag and drag with a flash will get the knockup. DTS slightly low. Mike is here now. First blood gonna come through onto Dorjan. Mike now low, and it's gonna be the double kill for the Dynasty jungler. And that's 2-0 in favor of Dynasty.
That's actually extremely unfortunate, especially if this Jarvan is going Bruiser Jarvan. For the most part, whenever I see Jarvans in 5s, they usually elect to go the tank Jarvan, which I prefer. But if he's going Bruiser, that's going to be very, very sad for our squishies in the mid and bot lane later on.
As in the top lane, Tibbs already been forced to back and TP back in. That Comet, maybe a little bit too disrespectful.
Yeah, I don't really see too much of a payout coming in from that at the moment. Alright.
We'll have to see if he can pick up. Again, he is playing against who has had a really good season so far, picking up MVP last week against Recon 5 Dynasty, being the first team to actually take them down over a full series. And Priamfeya and B-Tang doing a good job in this bot lane, and we talk. Sorry, I got that the wrong way around. Bishop and Freezeman doing a good job in this bot lane, and we talked about how both bot lanes, they've got poke. Of course, Ezreal Yumi, that's just so obvious poke. But then, of course, you've got Tang on the Lux and Priamfeya with so much range early on and damage on that Caitlyn. But they've been the ones who have been taking the brunt of this poke, as now Dorjan, sitting in the tri-bush, might look for something here.
Yep. I actually want to see what this Jarvan will do down here. Oh, and he is going for the tank Jarvan build. Alright. So that just makes it so that he gets even tankier faster.
Yeah. Going with the Conquerors. Picked up that Bami's cylinder, as we're just going to see Mike. He's going to take the Scuttle Crab bot side. Just get that. However, Dorjan is close to bot, so we can rotate for any counter ganks fairly quickly. But the game's starting to stall out after that early double kill from Dorjan.
Yep. Alright, so we got that Guardian proc. Oh no. Well, that is, as I said, that is basically the only way that she can really get it legitimately, because if she's really close to Caitlyn, she's probably just going to be doing more of body blocking her than actually helping her with the Guardian proc. Okay, and they got sights on Jarvan.
Dorjan is here. Remember, he doesn't have the flash. He used that in the mid lane. Priamfeya has been ignited. He's been zoned out as well. Priamfeya, surely there's no way he can get out of this. He's actually going to be able to do it. He somehow survives on about 10 HP. Meanwhile, Mike turns this around. He finds the kill onto Bishop. He's in the middle of nothing. Peels over. Peacemaker finds a lot of damage. The shutdown comes through, and it's 3 kills for First Blood Marauders. And that is absolutely fantastically played.
Oh my gosh. Caitlyn, you better be counting your lucky stars. That was actually so good. Oh, we got something happening in top.
Oh, Hextech Ultimatum is going to come in onto Rat. Can he find the damage? He's going to back off after that. Rat did burn the Hemoplague, and Tibbs decided that's a good sign to leave now. But Rat has to be careful, because with that Comet as well, the hookshot going to deal a lot of damage.
Yep. Now, going back to what happened in bot lane, that was actually really good. And unfortunately, they got the dragon stopped. But... oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Dynasty.
We got some carrion birds over here. Going for the scraps.
Dynasty might be looking to make a true vulture move and steal this Infernal Drake. They'll take it and they'll say... yeah, they will pick up a good Infernal Drake, considering that they lost that bot lane fight. Unluckily, but in the end, pretty hard.
Yeah, but that also is the power of early game Olaf. Olaf is a powerhouse early mid game. It's only in the late game once everybody has the items to like just burn through all the health he has that he starts to fall off. But right now, he's a force to be reckoned with, and you need to respect him. But they got an Infernal Drake, and that's not too bad. Next one is Mountain. So we'll see who gets that one.
And now that Priamfire and B-Tang were able to pick up those kills, there's actually in the top lane Tibbs looking for something onto Rat. Mike is nearby, but Tibbs just going to be content with poking Rat nice and low, and Rat doesn't have the TP available, so he'll have to back us in the bot lane. We're going to see... Oh, that's a good flash in from Priamfire. He uses...
Very
a 90 caliber net to get the headshot off, and that was pretty slick stuff from Priamfire.
Also, that's a flash down from Ezreal too. Yes, he has his E, but now he can't double flash, so that's pretty good. Also, commending the Yuumi for getting out when the getting was good. Because sometimes you see some Yuumis who are like, I will stay with you, dying breath, and then they end up dying too, so you gotta know when, you know, it's done.
You have to know when your ADC is a lost cause, and the Friesman decided, you know, I'm sorry, Bishop, maybe next time, bud. And
I tried, didn't work. See you later.
It's also great when it's your Yuumi who decides to engage, and then it's like, nah, I'm out. This was a bad decision by me. Sorry, I'm off.
It's like, you tried. All right. Okay, now, here's where it gets dicey. Caitlyn has the damage now.
Georgian almost cancelling that back from Mike. A split second off, and Rat was right there as well.
If I remember correctly, I think it's either 0.8 seconds or 0.5 seconds where you're basically like just good to leave. One of the two. So, you just got... Yeah. But yeah, Caitlyn has a lot of damage right now, so yeah, they got the poke, but unless he gets machine proc, Ezreal's not going to be doing nearly as much damage as Caitlyn is right now.
And Tibbs going to go in with the hook shot, gets off a little bit of damage, and instantly backs out. He's playing around this Comet build really nicely at the minute. Oh, right. Kessler's going to have to be careful. Mike is turning up. He has the Ragnarok available if he really wants to go for it, but I think Kessler is far enough away, has the dissonance as well, just for that extra movement speed.
Alright, there was an attempted roam for the bot lane up to the mid lane to help, but it seems like everyone's... Oh,
there comes the shockwave, but it's not going to do anything. Doesn't matter though, Kessler will have the damage, and the kill will be going over onto Dynasty eSports, finding the pick onto Mike.
And that's actually good, it's getting onto a carry instead of the tank Jarvan too. That actually was played really well. Yes, he didn't get pushed back, but he still got hit by the damage from the shockwave, and that ult from Jarvan was well placed.
Yeah, the Ragnarok was fairly good timing to ignore the shockwave CC, but it doesn't really matter because the Ragnarok, while it stops your CC, I mean, you still take so much damage.
Yeah, and you can't walk through walls, unfortunately. You're not Kayn.
Not yet, anyway. We do not know what Riot's planning.
Riot, please no. No, I don't want. Do not want.
Ragnarok update. Now can walk through walls.
You are now Kayn, but at all times during your ult. No. Okay. Alright, so package wasn't really used for much in the mid lane. Got some poke off, but that's about it.
We're also going to be getting our second Drake of the game. It's going to be a mounted Drake in about 50 seconds. So this is a fairly good Drake, and we should see both sides really contesting for this. But at the minute, first blood, Marauders do have the advantage because B-Tang and Priamfire on that Caitlyn Lux have the wave pushed in this bot side.
Yep, as of right now, the only thing that their bot lane is going to be contributing is a very slight annoyance poke from Ezreal and a Yuumi ult. A well-placed Yuumi ult with a Jarvan actually could make or break a team fight. But besides that, they do have the priority if they wanted to force this Drake. So I don't think there's really any reason for them to force it at the moment, where they could probably just win a fight and then go for it.
Now, I want to bring attention back to this mid lane because Kessler and ETS, I swear, every time I pan over and take a look at these two, one of them is super, super low. And at the minute, it's Kessler, and he's just going to be farming under turret right now.
Alright, so it seems like they are Oh, seems like they're just giving it up. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything that Dynasty eSports can do about it. Oh, the true shot barrage. About a second too late. A good try, though, from Bishop, but won't be able to secure it.
Yep. There's that Guardian proc going, you know what? Maybe we were wrong. Maybe this is Sleeper OP. I'm gonna try it. No, I'm not.
I love your faith in this build.
That actually was really good.
We'll have to see if it does pick up, if it will be able to last through the game. If we'd see every time we see B-Tank, if he does get deleted, we'll just be thinking, if you had Aftershock, it would have been a different story.
Yeah, as I said, I understand because you do get that extra shield, but in all honesty, if you wanted an extra shield, I guess you get an extra shield for both of you. But if you just wanted to make sure that your ADC got an extra shield, then there is Aerie, you know?
Yeah.
And Aerie procs way more often than Guardian does, especially when you're right next to them.
Yeah, as actually we're gonna see Dorjan on this Rift Herald. He might get spotted out by Mike, but he's gonna be able to secure the Rift in time now. Will Mike decide to go for the fight? Now Dorjan is gonna back off for now. Will sidestep the axe. Oh,
in bot lane, you just have basic Caitlyn things, you know. Traps behind the tower that you can't see really. Then you got Lux being Lux. It's great.
Yeah, and final spot is available on tanks, so the bot lane from Dynasty do have to be careful, because if they get a little bit low, you get that ace in the hole coming through, followed by... Oh, that's actually weird. Rad picking up the kill. We've got a fight going around Drake. Can Tibbs find the pick onto Dorjan? Yes, he can, but it almost finds the Triumph proc. Almost enough, but he will fall regardless. It's going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of Dynasty in the river. As DPS will back off as back in the bot lane. Priamphea takes too much damage, and Bishop will pick up the kill.
Oh dear, I need to, maybe once this game's over, I need to go back and see how exactly Caitlyn got so low before.
Hopefully we can get a replay of that, as in the mid lane, Kessler looking to find the poke onto DTS. He's getting DTS so low, does not have the shockwave available, forces the flash from DTS, and that's good stuff coming through from Kessler with the poke.
Yeah, also, I do also think that, yeah, it probably was just a disrespect on the amount of damage that Ezreal would do on that Q, because Caitlyn still does have Flash.
Okay, we can see the replay, and getting a good pick with the Hemoplague. And, oh, the final chapter, it locked Priamphea down right outside the turret, and then, yeah, it was just a lot of damage coming through from their Mystic Shot. Absolutely huge. Just Ezreal stuff as usual.
Yeah, because, you know, it's nice when Q is counted as an auto attack for Sheen. It's great.
As Dorjan is here in the bot lane. This is the TP flanks we were talking about. Rat is here. Cataclysm is available. Can they go to Tang? Tang will flash. It will also dodge away from the true shot barrage. But look who's here. The package comes in from DTS. Final spark will come in. Brings Bishop so low. Dorjan gets low. Rat will fall after the stopwatch comes through, and now it's a 3v3 Cataclysm coming in. It's not going to be enough as DTS finds the kill, but look who's here. It's Kessler with a shockwave. How much damage can Kessler do? Forced to flash, can't find the damage and can't find a good positioning for the shockwave, as it's going to be 3 kills for nothing for the First Blood Marauders.
Alright, that was all over the universe, and the real problem I have with that fight was that people were just trickling in one by one. That's solo queue stuff right there. And like, I do appreciate what Orianna was trying to do, but it was just so late. It was so late in the game, and they were already retreating, and she couldn't get a good enough positioning, as you mentioned, for that shockwave. So she kind of just wasted her flash for nothing.
Yeah, and we do see 2 turrets have now fallen. One in the top lane in favor of First Blood Marauders, and one in the bot lane for Dynasty eSports. That's DTS playing aggressive. Can he find the damage? Yes, he can, as that is a really nice missile barrage to be able to pick up the kill, and Kessler will fall as Dorjan now here in the mid lane could potentially look for something, but I highly doubt he'll be able to find anything as DTS backing off now with low mana.
Yep, that late roam really cost Orianna in more ways than one. First her flash, then her life, and then we have the Corki getting up there a lot, actually. He already has the Triforce set and done. He's 4-1. He's a scary Yordle. Yeah, also, I will commend the Caitlyn for getting executioners for both Vlad and that Yuumi. I can't express it enough that I see my ADCs. We're against Soraka, an Aatrox, and a Vladimir, and they don't get executioners until like 35 minutes into the game, and they're wondering why they don't die.
Yeah. Busted champs, righto, please enough, as they usually spam in the chat. As Tibbs looking to cancel Rat's back, but he's not going to be able to find it. Another thing I really want to bring up is, you know, we hyped up this DTS versus Kessler in the mid lane. DTS coming out on top, 4-1-1, an average of 10 kills per game, and he's well on his way to continuing that stat.
Yep. I will say, Olaf is basically doing exactly what he needs to do. Once he sees that there's an opportunity to fight, he just goes and runs it down, because he knows that he only has so much time before he's not going to be useful anymore, so he has to get as much use out of his champion as possible.
Good side step from Priyanka, not to take any damage from that two-shot barrage, as the Cloud Drake is secured by the First Blood Marauders, as Tang takes a little bit of poke from the Mystic shot. They are spotted out by the ward, as everything might just settle down once again. We're going to be getting Baron up in just over a minute, and the next straight going to be that Cloud in 4 minutes.
In all honesty, unless Dynasty gets some kills, minimum 2 kills probably.
Oh, here we go in the bot lane, as the Shockwave does nothing against the Ragnarok, as Mike picking up the kill onto Kessler in the bot lane. You don't have a turret, don't push that far forward, he says.
Yeah. Oh, and look at the amount of vision they have in their bot side jungle too.
Oh.
For the Marauders, that is.
Some nice red walls. However, Tip's going to have to be careful because Dorjin is here and he has a cat attached to him. The hookshot will come through just to buy some time. Final chapter coming in. It forces the flash. The flash from Dorjin in response. Flag and drag followed by the Cataclysm brings Tibbs low. Is there any way for Tibbs to outplay this? No, there's not. Rat picks up the kill. Meanwhile, though, in the mid lane, First Blood Marauders will be able to get the third and final outer turret. So it's 1 kill for a turret, and I think First Blood Marauders will be fairly content with that.
Yeah, I think a turret's always fine to sacrifice one of your teammates as long as it's not, you know, yourself.
Speaking of turrets, Dynasty and Rat will pick up their first outer turret in this top lane, and Baron hasn't now spawned, so it's a good thing that Rat got that.
Yep, I don't think either team really wants to try and do anything with a really early Baron. Like, for Dynasty, they would have to kill, as I was saying before, they would have to kill minimum 2 people, one of them being Olaf, and to just think about it. And when it comes to the Marauders, I think they could go for it. They would have to respect the Wombo combo that Dynasty has. Though I will say, Dynasty is lacking in damage at the moment. So, if they wanted to force Baron and then turn immediately, they could do that if they really did want to.
Yeah, another thing I want to bring up is the gold discrepancy at the minute. Currently about 3.5k in favor of First Blood Marauders, but that's kind of evenly spread. There's not anyone who's super far ahead. There's about 1k advantage on DTS, who now has that Triforce and Rapid Fire Cannon.
Yep, Corki is... he is a problem right now, and they need to be very careful about getting hit by just those random Rs from him. Same thing with the Caitlyn, same thing with, oh, okay, we have an early Baron coming up.
We talked about whether they would look to turn straight after starting this Baron. Two-shot barrage will come through. First Blood Marauders will disengage from Baron. They'll back off. They know that they can go for it when they want right now. They do have the advantage. 10 kills to 7 as... oh, the missile will come through, will find its way onto DTS, but DTS just going to back off for now.
And we got Vlad pushing the bot lane, though Dynasty does need to see if they can get that mid tower just to try and get some priority, especially if they want to think about doing this Baron. Because you can't have your mid lane pushing against you when you're trying to get Baron out.
Oh, in comes the hook shot from Tibbs. He's looking to find the fight onto Rat. He has the Hextech ultimatum available. Will decide against him. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Tang finding the kill. As that's a great kill from Bishop to stop the ace in the hole. Mike gets taken down. Tibbs comes in. He finds the shutdown. What can they find onto Bishop? Because Rat is here. It's a 2v2 in the rivers. That's the Hextech ultimatum onto Bishop. Bishop, they find the outplay. They find the kill. DTS will be able to find one, but the True Shot Barrage will find the shutdown, and it's gonna be the ace for Dynasty eSports, as that is a massive 5 for 4 though, and still coming out kind of even.
Yeah, that was a lot. That was a very extended fight with the Vlad and the basically just having to walk all the way to mid lane to get something to happen. And Ezreal was able to land some really good Qs that was able to stop Corki from being able to walk forward fast enough to actually get him. Though he did miss one of his Rs. If he actually landed that R, he probably would have been able to kill both of them pretty easily.
It's a lot of skills and the tag getting taken and absolutely obliterated by Bishop there.
That hurt me to watch. Where did you go? Oh, they got double division on Baron. Very important. Everybody should do that.
Yep, double control wards at Baron, just in case they miss one ward. There's a second ward.
Yeah.
So, now, you mentioned that they wanted to get this mid lane turret. They're going to go for it, and they're going to be able to pick it up.
Yep, now that they should be in a bit better situation if they wanted to go for Baron. They have to make sure that mid lane is either pushing in their favor or at least crashing in the center.
And the tides have been turning for first blood as Tibbs looking for the pick onto Kessler. He's getting the damage. Hextech ultimating comes through. Ace in the hole will finish the job. And Priam Fire will find the kill. It's now 5v4. Do first blood Marauders want to commit on the Baron, or are they going to go back and defend mid? And it looks like they're going to go for the latter. Dynasty, they're kind of daring first blood Marauders to go for that Baron.
Yes, they are, because they will more than likely be able to straight up just get an inhibitor if they don't, you know, come for this. That, and also they lost their mid laner. Their mid laner right now is probably doing like the most damage per second on their team at the moment with how far ahead Corki is. Yes, Caitlyn's doing well, but she has to stay at such a far distance. Otherwise, she's just going to get obliterated by both the Ezreal and the Vladimir. So
speaking of the Vladimir, Rat has one needlessly large rod. He's got 600 gold, but when he picks up that Rabadon, surely it's going to be absolutely huge and potentially a massive turning point in this match.
Yes, and it seems like Caitlyn is going for that Hex Drinker. We see that Null Magic Mantle right there. Is it Null Magic?
Yes.
Yes, it is Null Magic. I forgot it was like the other one. Anyway, she has that Null Magic Mantle in her inventory, so I do expect a Hex Drinker, giving that respect to both the Vladimir and the Orianna. Actually, you know what? Basically everybody on the enemy team, except for J4, has a little bit of magic damage in their kit, so
makes sense to get a bit of that MR, and I know you like the fact that Priam Fire, you know, he's not going for the full bill. He's picked up that Executioner's Culling, and now he's going for that Null Magic Mantle that I'm going to guess we'll be going into a QSS over Hex Drinker.
Oh, actually, yes, that... Actually, in all honesty, yes, the QSS would be pretty decent for Yuumi, but at that point, if that's all you're going to use it for, I would have rather Lux go for a, what's it called? A Mikhail's. Yeah. I'm not too sure if QSS is really worth it just for a Yuumi ult, in all honesty. Because yes, the root can mess you up, but you can't QSS out of Orianna ult.
Oh, Dorjan looking for the pick. They're going to be able to go in with the Cataclysm final chapter. Going to be able to get the CC. Tibbs going to be able to back off. DTS with the TP. Can they find anything? Hookshot coming in. The package will come through. Find damage onto Kessler. Shockwave not going to be able to find his mark. And the disengage coming through. No kills at all. But a lot of summoner spells and cooldowns being burnt.
I actually don't know if Vladimir really needed to use his TP yet. Maybe it was more for seeing if they could try and get Baron, but once they saw that the disengage was done, I think they were basically fine to just let him keep pushing bottom.
Dorjan gonna take a little bit of poke, but Priam Fire and B-Tank don't quite have the damage. We talked about this. This is a tank Jarvan coming through from Dorjin. He has the Knight's Vow. He has this Cinder Hulk jungle item. He's got Merc Treads in the Chain Vest. This is a full tank.
Yeah, he's not going to die anytime soon, but he's also not going to be doing much damage. What he's useful for now is for a knockup and for basically starting the Wombo combo. Get that cat on him and then just run it down.
Yeah, and it's always nice, isn't it, when you... Again, we talked about this Wombo combo, Kessler putting the ball on top of Dorjin diving in, and then you've got the big shockwave, depending how many people Dorjin can catch in that Cataclysm. As speaking of Dorjin, he's potentially looking for something on this top side, as Mike might be getting caught out. He'll flash over the Krug wall to safety, but once again, Dynasty eSports looking good, finding these picks as Tang. He gets hit by a Prowling Missile. He's going to get CC'd by the final chapter, and the kill comes through onto Kessler. Friesman takes a lot of poke damage. He'll reattach back onto Dorjin. But Dynasty, we talked about this poke position, and they're finding the picks, they're finding the kills, and they're turning their attention to Baron.
Yep, that they are. Oh, and... okay, Camille just barely gets out. I will say, I will commend her for pushing that far in, though. But I think this Baron...
They're going to disengage. They're looking for the big Cataclysm coming through onto Mike. They don't want a 50-50. They will take down Mike. Kessler with the pick. Will they continue the chase? It's a 3v2. They've got the Mystic Shot. Flag and Drag coming in. Will find the CC. Shockwave will get the CC onto Tibbs. We'll find the killer to 1-4-1. Final chapter coming in. Can they get the CC onto Briava? Yes, they can. And Kessler, with so much damage, will find yet another pick for Dynasty as they make it 18 kills to 16 as we hit the 29-minute mark.
Alright, now unfortunately we're at that point where being able to run it down as Olaf isn't really too much of an option right now. Right now what they want to do is try and get picks, because Olaf running it down is just going to mean Olaf is going to be facing down on the floor and his screen's going to be gray, because Ezreal hurts a lot right now. He's going to be doing way more damage than Caitlyn is overall, just in general. Caitlyn is falling off. Mid-game is like dang near over at the moment. It's... as their late game is coming out, while Marauders are just starting to fall to the wayside. The only people who are really still relevant at the moment are Camille and Corki. Everyone else is kind of just there for maybe some minor CC, and Olaf is there to be like, hey, please hit me instead.
First Blood looking so good, but with that final couple of picks, it seems that Dynasty eSports are back in charge, and PMFA has picked up that Hex Drinker. But I just want to mention this, actually, the Jarvan pick, because to me it feels like such a good pick, because as you mentioned, Mike just can't run it down anymore, and with Dorjin on, you know, full tank Jarvan, every time Mike just burns that Ragnarok, Dorjin just uses the Cataclysm, and as you mentioned, Ragnarok doesn't let you run through walls.
Not yet.
Oh no, Bishop, can they find the pick? Prowling Projectile will get the CC down. Hextech Ultimatum will get deleted as Tibbs gets taken down. Now the Baron has been started by First Blood Marauders. Can Dynasty eSports contest this? As True Shot Barrage will get a little bit of poke. Redemption coming in. Final chapter coming in. They're not going to be able to find the pick. Cataclysm will come in. Bishop getting taken down. Solo, he'll be able to find the pick onto DTS. Ace in the hole will come through. Not going to be enough damage. Shockwave will get cancelled through the stopwatch. Double kill onto Bishop. They find 3 members of First Blood. Priam, Fire and B-Tang will have that Baron buff, though not quite able to find the ace, but still a good showing from Dynasty.
Yep. The problem there is that they just weren't in the right position. Thank goodness that Ezreal did have that TP to come in and, you know, bonk some heads after they got the Baron. But if they were in a better position, I think they would have been able to ace, get Baron, and maybe start hitting on those Nexus turrets. But for what they had, they did really darn well.
Yeah. Also, big credit to First Blood Marauders. You know, they spotted that Bishop and Friesman were bots are trying to find the pick onto Tibbs. Tibbs has been split pushing fairly well, I feel, and, you know, First Blood using that to their advantage to be able to secure this Baron.
Yeah, because even though Camille would be decent in some team fights, as I said before, Olaf can't really run it down anymore. And so if you have Olaf running in and then Camille trying to back him up, both of them are probably just gonna die at this point, because you had Ezreal dueling the Corki and not being scared and winning that duel. He's not scared of Olaf either anymore. The only reason why he'd be scared of Camille is if he was by himself without a Yuumi. But if he has Yuumi with him or Orianna, he basically can just 1v4 at this point.
Meanwhile, in the bot lane, it looks like Rat's going to be getting caught out. It's a 5 is a 3v1. Rat, can he find the damage? The package will come through. This feels like a little bit of overkill, but they will be able to find the pick as the rest of the members from Dynasty make their way to this bot lane just to defend, because there is an open inhibitor.
That was a bit of disrespect from the Vladimir. He was pushed out way too far by himself.
Oh, Hex, that's a big true shot barrage. The flash over the wall. Bishop will find the pick onto Priamfea, who is all alone without Tang. And that's
that again is another. He just pulled the Vladimir. They were in mid by themselves pushing, and then they walked through the enemy jungle by themselves with no vision, thinking that they could just walk down and join their team. That's not what you do 33 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and I mean, I want to give so much credit to Dynasty though. You know, we said that this is a poke comp, and it feels to me like they've played to this win condition spot on.
Yep, they have. Ezreal is now the big powerhouse he needs to be. It's basically late game at this point. Jarvan isn't going to die with that Gargoyle Stone Plate. Yuumi doing work, making sure that, like, she keeps Ezreal alive, but then switching over to a Bruiser to make sure they can chase down people. And then Vladimir has been probably getting caught or walking in late to fights, but when he does get to a fight, that ult does work. Oh, and we have GA on Ezreal too. Yeah, I think he's fine. I think Ezreal's fine. I think Yuumi can just stick to Jarvan right now.
Yeah, he's on full build as well, and Ryan Kessler both have the Rabadon's death cap. 600 AP on Rat, 560 on Kessler. This is massive. And in the bot lane, here we go. There comes the Cataclysm. He'll find the pick. Hextech Ultimatum will come in. That's a good final spark from Tag to find the pick onto Friesman. Both Guardians Angels being popped, but Mike will get absolutely deleted when he comes out. Dodging tanky for so long. Priamfire really low. One auto would be able to do it. Can they find the flag and drag? Yes, they can. They find a 4 kills for 1. Only Friesman will fall. Dynasty take the final inner turret, and they will finally crack open the base of First Blood Marauders, and this could potentially be game.
This should be game. There's over 20-second death timers from everyone. Yeah, I'm calling it. I'm calling it right now.
Dynasty eSports, they have come in strong, and they will take Game 1 against the undefeated First Blood Marauders. What a showing.
Very much so. I will say both sides drafted extremely well. Like, I couldn't really see either comp just straight winning. It literally just depended on how they played. Their macro play and the micro play. And unfortunately, the more late game oriented team won because they made it there.
Well, late game was able to be enough for Game 1. However, this is the best of 3, so there's still a lot more of where this came from. We're going to be heading into a short break, and we'll be right back with Game 2 of this best of 3 series. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to this best of 3 between Dynasty eSports and First Blood Marauders. Dynasty eSports were able to take Game 1 after a thrilling contest. And as we make our way into Game 2, Koyaki, what do you want to see both teams kind of change and adapt?
Alright, both teams, as I said, have really good drafts and really good champions. Well, that's the same thing. They both had really good drafts, and they seem to play their champions pretty well. The thing is, though, like, if you're going to go for more of an early game / mid-game focused comp, you need to force more fights, or you need to draft a comp that's more aggressive, because the comp that they draft was good for early game and wanted to win early game, but they didn't really have the tools to, like, you know, close out kills and close out the game early on, which left a lot of their champions useless after a while. And one of the main things, it's more like a macro play sort of thing. I don't want to see people trickling in to fights anymore. It kind of annoys me.
As you say that, though, we have made our way into picks and bans. Once again, we're going to see that Kiana ban coming through, but the Jarvan and Sejuani bans coming in from the side of First Blood Marauders. So giving a bit of respect, as we're going to see the Yuumi and Sivir being banned as well. Yep,
pretty standard bans. Nothing really to say. Oh, is that Aatrox being picked or hovered? Is that picked? It's picked. Okay. I like that. I like Aatrox. He's fun.
Yeah. It was banned out in Game 1, and I have a sneaky suspicion that this is something that's going to get played by DTS in the mid lane. I'm not too sure, but I think he played it last week, and I think he popped off as usual, as the Luck's going to get picked up for the side of Dynasty, as there's cheekily hovering. They will pick the Olaf, so this feels a bit disrespectful for me. This feels like Dynasty saying, we saw your Olaf last game, this is how you play an Olaf.
And they also have the Lux, so maybe they might be going again for another early mid-game focused comp, but this time they're going to show the Marauders how you actually close a game out early. Oh, but they're taking the Caitlyn away.
The Caitlyn has been taken away from Dynasty eSports. Going back to that Lux, reckon we're going to be seeing a Guardian Lux this time?
I don't think so. We have more of a chance seeing Aerie Lux than a Guardian Lux this time, but I think that's going to be the standard Aftershock, though.
Yes, we'll wait to see how First Blood Marauders looks to play. The Morgana was open, but the Karma going to be picked up. But of course, that can get flexed around depending on what Dynasty want to play in that top.
Yep, we got 2 flexes so far. So if that is going to be in the bot lane, that is going to be another very poke-heavy lane coming in.
We'll have to see how they look to play. We saw the poke in Game 1 with this Caitlyn lane, with a Karma arguably even more poke. So we'll have to see how they look to play this, as a Kai'Sa going to get picked up from Dynasty eSports.
Yeah, for the Kai'Sa, now we have like they have a bit more security when it comes to the late game now. If Olaf does fall off, he'll at least be a distraction towards the squishies, while Kai'Sa will be able to, you know, do the damage needed after 25-30 minutes.
Yeah. I'm kind of interested as well, because the Yuumi's not open, the Azir being banned, as one thing I do like to see with the Kai'Sa, and I know it's not a meta, but it is the Shen, and I kind of doubt that we'll see that though.
It depends on if they want to, you know, pull out some interesting stuff, but might not see it here.
So we're going to see
really a ban.
Yeah, and I feel like just banning away to the team fights, we're going to see a Z ban coming in, so...
I think that's respect. I don't know how much I feel about that. I think that's just respect or BM, one of the two.
Could it also be that maybe Dynasty eSports are looking to play this Lux mid, and are just thinking, if that is a Lux mid and the Z comes through, the Lux is going to get deleted?
Yeah, that is true, so there could be that too.
As we're going to see the Kennen being banned away as well, and I'm liking these bans from First Blood, kind of focusing those, you know, massive team wombo combo ult bans.
As of right now, there's not really a wombo combo for either team. There is decent pick coming from the side of Dynasty with the Lux and the Camille, but nothing too wombo-y from either side yet.
we'll have to see what they look to pick up. Of course, that J4 has been banned, as has the Sejuani, as we're going to be seeing an Akali being picked up. So, again, the Akali and the Aatrox can kind of be flexed around mid or top regardless.
Yeah. And is that going to be the Lee Sin? Is that going to be really him? Insec, is that you?
Please, give us the Lee.
Do it. You know you want to.
It's in. As the Lissandra will come through as well. So, we have our team comp.
Huh. These comps are actually kind of not necessarily bad, but I don't really see the synergy coming out. For Dynasty, I see a slight bit more synergy with the Camille, Lux, Lissandra. Very good pick, very good CC. For Marauders, I see some damage, a bit more damage, and a Lee Sin kick. That's what I see.
At least in that game kick. I like that. But I mean, surely from the side of First Blood Marauders, you know, Caitlyn, Karma, you've got a little bit of poke. Maybe the plan's just to poke them a little bit low, try to get, I'm trying to remember what the combo's called, but Lee Sin in behind, getting that Dragon Rage kick off, the ward jump, Dragon Rage kick, and then it's Akali's territory, and you've got the likes of like Kai'Sa and the Lux. That's Kai'Sa's licking her lips at that.
Yeah, I will say early game when it comes to the bot lane should go to the Caitlyn Karma. There is no reason why Caitlyn and Karma should lose let's say 8 minutes to Lux and Kai'Sa unless they literally let themselves get hit and killed over and over again by a Lux Q, which should not be happening. So besides that, early game, maybe first tower, or first tower from the bot lane is going over to Caitlyn Karma. When it comes to top lane, I think Camille might have it pre-sick. Just because she might be able to outmaneuver, getting hit by his Qs, and might be able to poke him a bit more, than he can do to her. But I think that might also be just straight up a player sort of matchup. So it's more of a skill matchup maybe in the top lane. Mid lane, I don't even know what I'm looking at. Neither of those champions are bad in any way. I actually literally do not know. Maybe Lissandra might have a bit more of an advantage just because she can poke a little easier. But I'm not too sure. I'm really not too sure. And as for jungle, Lee Sin will always be useful because he has a kick. Olaf, he has to watch it because after about 25-30 minutes, he can't run it down. But he does have the insurance of Kai'Sa and Lissandra. So there's that. All he has to do, I guess, is just make sure he doesn't give Lee Sin more kills than he needs to, and maybe try to make sure that his Kai'Sa doesn't completely lose all the CS to the Caitlyn Karma.
As you mentioned in last game and just now, the Olaf kind of falls off after 30 minutes, and Lee Sin stays relevant because he can find so much peak potential. And you mentioned that the Caitlyn Karma strong early game shouldn't lose anything pre-8, but then again from the side of Dynasty you have that Olaf. Is either side favoring a late game? Do either side want to kind of stall out to that 30-40 minute mark even?
Alright, when it comes to that, in my opinion, I think when it comes to late game, I think that probably Dynasty still has it because of the Lissandra and because of the Kai'Sa. Yes, they have an Akali, yes, they have an Aatrox, and yes, they have a Lee Sin. But if they can maneuver themselves decently, or if they can make sure that Olaf is the one getting kicked by Lee Sin, they basically have their pick of anybody who wants to die. Because Caitlyn, if she is even, or even slightly behind Kai'Sa, she's not going to do anything to her once late game comes around. She's really not. Especially if Lissandra just comes in, pops her with her ult, and then, yeah.
Also, how would the interaction work if, let's say, Lee Sin or Akali tries to go in for a dive, tries to go in for tries to find that assassination? Could Lissandra just not drop the ult straight away?
Yeah, basically if someone tries to come in, whether it be Akali, Lee Sin, or Aatrox, if she really wants to, she can just say no to whoever's coming in, Or she could just bypass them with her E and then say no to Caitlyn and she's dead. But then Kai'Sa will have to be maneuvering around and fighting front to back. Because unless she's completely and utterly sure that like all 3 of the divers have already used their dive abilities, she needs to play front to back. Otherwise, if they use their dive abilities, then literally all this Contra has to do, or all Lux has to do, is land some form of light CC on Caitlyn, ult in, she's dead, and then you can start working front to back again. Because Kai'Sa has the tools to maneuver around people. And then you can't forget Camille. Camille's here to ult people. She's here to ult people. She's here to stun people. They have the pick. They just have to make sure they don't get caught with their pants down from all these divers.
Yeah, and as we enter and as we are in the in-game champ select, we do get confirmation that Tibbs will be playing that Aatrox in the top lane. DTS with the Akali in the mid lane. Again, we hyped in game 1. DTS most kills in the ABL right now. Akali, definitely a champion you can get a lot of kills on.
Yeah, that second ult strike always seems to, you know, mess people up. It's like, okay, she already ulted. Wait a minute. She has another one. And also, we have the Kai'Sa with the TP again, and the Lux with a heal to compensate for that. So I think they understand that they shouldn't be winning bot. They really shouldn't be winning bot, so there's no combat summoners coming in from the bot lane because of that.
Another thing I always seem to get told is that whenever an Akali gets picked, it's weak early game and it doesn't really do anything until you can get a couple of kills on it. From that, could we expect to see Mike on this Lee Sin trying to stick around mid for as much as possible?
Yes, probably, because Caitlyn and Karma should be fine by themselves. They shouldn't need any help. The only reason why Mike should be coming down is just so he can get some extra EXP or try and steal a kill from Caitlyn. So like bot lane should be fine by itself. Even with Olaf coming down, they should have the wards to just back off because they should own this lane. This lane should be theirs. And because of that, Olaf literally should only really be coming down to either relieve some pressure to break a freeze, or he could literally just leave them high and dry and focus on this mid lane so that Mike can't get this Akali going. And then top lane, I think top lane is fine to be an island, in all honesty.
Yeah. Also, gonna take a look at some of the spells as well, because we already talked about Bishop being able to take that TP, but Kessler and Rat both with those TPs, while Akali going for the Ignite. So you got 3 TPs from the side of Dynasty eSports, and only 1 from the side of First Blood Marauders.
Yeah. I expect that we're probably gonna see some TP plays down bot lane to help relieve the pressure, or if, say, Caitlyn and Karma go all in and, like, you know, they don't kill Kai'Sa and Lux, like they're just barely hanging on, you have a Camille or a Lissandra TP to try and turn it around afterward or during the big assault that's coming down. Which is actually really good. And it gives Camille, like, you know, it gives Camille a good time to, like, you know, match an Aatrox split push. And if they wanted to 1-3-1, which this comp actually can pretty darn well, they have 2 TPs to come back to. So that's actually not that bad, in all honesty.
When I look at this game, especially from the side of First Blood Marauders, I see, you know, a lot of excitement. You've got the Lee Sin, you've got the Akali, even the Aatrox. Is there any particular lane, any particular matchup, any particular theme that really stands out to you as something to watch out for?
For Marauders, they want to go in. Once a team fight comes in, they want to go in and they want to try and either burst someone down or try to just separate the team of Dynasty, because that's all they can do. All they can do is go in and try and kill someone, with Caitlyn and Karma being in the back. But the problem is, if they don't kill anyone, Caitlyn and Karma are sitting ducks.
Okay. We'll have to see how everything pans out as we make our way into Game 2. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be heading into a short break and we'll be right back as Dynasty eSports and First Blood Marauders make their way onto the Rift for the second time today. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second and potentially final game between Dynasty eSports and First Blood Marauders, as Dynasty look to take down First Blood Marauders, winning ways and reclaim first place in the ABL standings. Don't forget, if you haven't already, do subscribe to us on Twitch. All of the proceeds from the subscriptions go towards making these streams better for you. And you get some very, very nice points. If you do subscribe, host, or tip us, and those points will all be accumulated and counted at the end of the season. And whoever has the most will get a very nice $10 on their PayPal. And with all that said and done, let's make our way. Actually, you can also bet your points. And currently the bets are in favor of, I believe it is First Dynasty eSports. So if you want to turn that around, feel free to do that. But Mike getting caught out, taking a little bit of damage as Georgian looking to find the damage. Tibbs is taken solo. Tibbs will fall. First Blood coming in for Rat. DTS now kind of low. Can he find a way out of this? No, he can't. The double kill coming in for Rat. And that's going to be a very, very nice early back. Koyaki.
Oh yeah, that that was, I'm not too sure if that was actually supposed to be a legitimate invade or if they were just trying to get some vision. Either way, it was really sloppy, but good on Dynasty for just like jumping on that. Oh, already got some blood on in the water.
2 kills coming in. That's 2 long swords for a Rat. That feels slightly big to me.
Yeah, and as I said before... Oh, wait, hold on. Got something happening in the bot lane.
Bishop getting some damage. The Piltover Peacemaker will come in. But Bishop, they're actually going to turn this around. The Ignite coming through. B-Tang will be able to find the kill. Just a little bit too much disrespect from Bishop and Friesman. Just kind of ignoring the damage from B-Tang there. Yeah,
the problem was that, as I said before, like, they probably... I thought they knew that they were going to be winning the early game hard at all, so that's why they didn't have any combat summoners. But I guess they just got too caught up in the moment, and then they realized, wait a minute, I have Ignite ticking on me.
Yeah, and that Ignite was enough to find the kill for B-Tang, and it's been an absolute bloodbath. With barely 3 minutes in, and we've already got 3 kills.
Yeah. Well, in all honesty, from the bot lane, I kind of expected that, but the weird invade/vision venture that happened, that was not expected. Also, going back to the top lane, with those 2 extra longswords, Camille should be able to poke out the Aatrox.
Oh, the light binding's gonna land the flash forward as Bishop picks up their kill. Good stuff coming through from Dynasty and getting that kill onto Bishop, as in the top lane, the Infernal Chains will come through, but Rat trying to use those longswords to good advantage.
Yep, he has a 10 CS up right now, but that CS is also crashing into the turret, so it might be equalized in a bit.
Yeah, 13 to 21. Also, Georgian 25 CS to Mike, 16 on that Lee Sin, and we know how strong that Olaf can be in the early game. So that could be absolutely massive there. Also, want to give a shout out to Pichilot, who has subscribed to us. Massive thank you for that. As B-Tang looking just to get a little bit of poke. Bishop, a bit low on mana, will just move a little bit out of the range of that Q. As actually, DTS doing a good job in this mid lane as well.
Now, for that bot lane, Caitlyn's she has a call right now, which is good to try and get some money back after that kill that happened. But now, in all honesty, even though they are Caitlyn Karma, they have to be careful. Because that Kaisa, if she gets her full stacks, it's going to hurt. And they will just die again. So now, I'm not even too sure if they have the champ advantage anymore.
Oh, Mike backing in lane. If Rat got a little bit too aggressive, he was ready to dash forward with the safeguard, followed by the Sonic Wave. But he'll back off for now, and again, we're seeing that CS discrepancy in mainly the jungle and a little bit in the bot lane, but it's still very, very close.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, anyway, before we go on to that, In the bot lane, yeah, the CS has basically been equalized. Okay. The CS has basically been equalized in the bot lane ever since that kill happened. And in the top lane, as I said before, because all those minions just crashed into the tower, the CS is also being equalized there. But he is slightly ahead just because of those kills he had. Otherwise, everyone else seems to be pretty even. Yes, Olaf has more CS, but as of right now, he hasn't really done anything with it besides what happened at the beginning of the game. So we'll have to see if he, uses that extra money to his advantage, gets some more items, and then starts running it down, whether it be mid, top, or maybe even bot, seeing as Caitlyn has to be careful with that Kai'Sa having that extra damage item over her.
Yeah. Something else to bring up as well, we're seeing again on the Lux the Guardian coming through, but we're seeing the different rune being picked up from Rat, going for the Grasp of the Undying over that Arcane Comet that Tibbs picked up in game 1.
Yep. The grasp, it basically seems like a complete 180 from the Camille's. The first Camille went the Comet for the disrespect, getting as much poke as possible. And it actually, you know what, it didn't work as well as it really should have, but it wasn't a bad pick.
Rut's gonna go in, Dorjan is here, the flash comes through from Tibbs to dodge away from the Undertow. So good gank coming in, finding that flash is Tibbs looking to maybe cancel something. Dorjan will throw out another Undertow, but will ultimately back off.
Oh yeah, and then as I said before, so like you had the Meteor or Comet from the last Camille. The disrespect, the extra damage, it did some damage, but it didn't really amount to a lot of kills. Here you have the complete 180, the ultimate respect with the grasp.
Oh, can they catch out Friesman? Friesman forced to sidestep around the Yordle snap trap. They're gonna get a lot of damage onto Priamphea. Meanwhile, Mike on the Drake at the minute, and Dorjan on his way through mid, so he'll take a bit of time, and Mike should be able to secure this Drake.
Alright, and that's an Ocean Drake. Actually, that Ocean Drake might come in handy for both the top and mid lane, actually, because of how much poke that they can be taking from their enemies. Bot lane, maybe, but I think bot lane wants to just fight over and over again, so they might not be seeing too much of a use from it.
Yeah, and going back over onto Ray, he's still 2-0-0. He's been able to eke out a nice 16 CS to lead, courtesy of the longsword. It's also picked up a Tiamat as well now, and just poking down Tibbs whenever he gets the chance.
I will say, Tibbs did a really good job canceling the, the first time.
Oh, here comes the Hextech ultimatum. Now Dorjan is here. One Undertow would be able to do it. The flash coming forward from Dorjan, but is not going to be able to close the gap enough, as the dash forward from the Darkin Blade was able to just get himself far enough away from Dorjan, as Mike is here, could look for something. Dorjan is going to push forward. Will spot out Mike and just back off for now, as in the bot lane just going to see the bit of poke coming through, as the bot lane from First Blood Marauders just shoving in the wave. But Dorjan is here again. Once again, the hookshot will land the CC. Rat taking a turret shot, might be a turret shot too many. Can Tibbs find the outplay? He forces a flash from Rat. That's good stuff coming in there from Tibbs.
In all honesty, I think Dorjan could have taken 1 or 2 more tower shots and actually gotten the kill. That was a bit too much.
Oh, that's a good flash. Mike finding the pick. He uses the C here. Oh, it doesn't matter. Dorjan's going to be able to find the 1-for-1, but it looked pretty cool.
Yeah. I was about to think, oh no, is he having syndrome? No, he actually went up on it. That was pretty good. Yeah, it was a 1-for-1. Though again, it's on an Olaf, and the Olaf falls off after a bit. So maybe it was all planned. But that's a kill for Lee Sin coming in.
As DTS just getting down a little bit of poke onto Kessler. Kessler with this aftershock, giving that little bit more survivability. But fairly even, 66 CS to 61. Overall, less than 1k goal separating both these teams, but 4 kills to 2 in favor of Dynasty eSports, as the Ocean Drake has actually been secured by First Blood Marauders. Next week gonna be that mountain.
And then that Mountain Drake is actually going to be really good for both sides. Oh, we have Mike down here just taking some real good damage on the Dynasty's first bot lane turret.
Yeah, and Dynasty spotted out that DTS was on his way bot, so they backed off fearing the 4-man collapse, but now Kessler is here. In he comes, can he get the CC? He steps onto a Yodel Snaptrap. This is a lot of damage coming through onto Kessler. Friesman forced to burn the heal as the Frozen Tomb will come through. Friesman in a bit of a sticky situation now. Sonic Wave resonating, strike, attack, and Rage Kick. Mike will find the pick onto Friesman. Dorjan will find the return kill. Ace in the hole. Not going to be able to sneak its way through onto Kessler. But this might be enough for First Blood Marauders to get this first turret. As in the top lane, Rat taking a lot of damage against Tibbs. And now let's see, can Dorjan and Bishop find the 2v3 fight? Voidseeker gonna only hit a minion, but they're gonna be able to clear that wave.
And you know what? This is exactly what the Marauders want to do. They want to make sure that Dynasty uses any sort of, like, you know, escape or any sort of hard CC that they have, and then they just jump in. Because what are they gonna do after that? What are you going to do against a stinking Lee Sin that's going to just come in, Q you, and then kick you out? What are you going to do against an Akali that's going to just come in and ult you? Not much once all your CC's
Bishop's
down.
in a bit of a tricky situation. The headshot comes in. The barrier, prismatic barrier, not going to be a big enough shield. And Priamfea finding so much as going to get a final spark just to wave clear a little bit. But 5 kills to 4 in favor of Dynasty right now as the gold lead currently sitting with First Blood Marauders.
Yep, and that's actually really good for Caitlyn, because not only does she have the slight extra gold from getting that cull, also that kill basically equalizes her in gold along with the excess CS that she has against the Kai'Sa, which she really needs going into this mid game if she wants to have some sort of presence in teamfights.
Now Mike is here in the bot lane. He could look for a potential gank and we'll be seeing 3 members bot. They're gonna land the light binding. Voidseeker comes in. In comes the killer instinct, and it will find the kill. Mike a little bit late with that safeguard, and a good kill being picked up by Dynasty.
Oh no, in the top lane.
Let's see, Hextech ultimatum will come through. Rat struggling a little bit. He's trying to back out of it as a world ender was popped by Tibbs. As back in the bot lane, Bishop just looking to get a little bit of poke. Has to be careful. As
in this top lane, both top laners are really just giving each side the business.
Meanwhile, in mid, Dorjan finding some poke damage with the undertow. DTS will just back off. He comes back in with the ultimate. Mike is here. Mike will find the kill. He'll safeguard to safety as well, as that's a good pickup from First Blood.
Execution damage, by the way. Also, it seems that in this top lane, Camille, even though she had an advantage early, is kind of playing on the back foot now. Because every time I look up there, it seems like when they do trades, Aatrox seems a bit more confident in being able to kill her, and she always has to hookshot away.
Yeah, and it's almost something I feel that's been happening since level 1, despite having that 2 longsword advantage. And as in the bot lane, Bishop finding the kill onto Priamfea. B-Tang after that roam to mid, just seemingly allowing us. That's the flash mantra Q. B-Tang, what are you doing? Gets hit by the light binding. This is overly aggressive as Bishop finds the kill, and that's 2 kills going over onto Bishop.
Now, here's the problem. I understand what B-Tang was trying to do. Oh, no. Wait.
Oh, that's a good pickup coming through from Mike. Bishop just getting a little bit too aggressive. And
Mike the amount of health
find the punish. And
all right,
Bishop had the killer instinct. He had the killer instinct, so I think he wanted to play around that, but just didn't get a chance.
Yeah. But, what's it called? What was I saying? I understand what B-Tang was trying to do, but, myself playing Karma as well, he would not have killed Kai'Sa with the empowered Q. Not what they had. They would not have killed her, and they would still probably have died. Because not only was the damage not going to be enough, Lux still had Guardian up. So either way, it wasn't a good idea. But that is first tower going into the bot lane, as expected. If it went the other way, then the Caitlyn and Karma lane basically would have not have done their job at all.
Yeah. Something I want to bring up is going back to what you were saying about B-Tang. Coming into this series, he had the highest KDA of anyone in the ABL series. 9.1 KDA over his 6 games. The next highest was 6.8. This guy has died a total of 9 times. And so far in this series alone, he's died 5 times. Almost half of his total deaths have been in one series against one team.
Yeah. I just think, well, so far, he hasn't been playing bad. It's just, I think he just got overzealous with that, and he didn't calculate his damage properly. Because, as I said, even if he did hit, he wasn't going to kill Kai'Sa. But that's just me.
We'll have to see if he can get back to his very high KDA ways, as B-Tang and Priamphea are in this mid lane now, as DTS shifting over to the top lane. Baron will be up in 5 minutes. Rift Herald has already been taken by Dynasty. They used it in the top lane to get their first turret. And it's 1 turret apiece now, and gold pretty much dead even.
Yep. In all honesty, when the Baron comes up, I think Dynasty would be more ready to take it if they wanted to take a really early Baron. But again, I don't think either team can really force a Baron unless they actually, just turn immediately once they see the enemy teams, because of how even they are right now.
Yeah, we'll have to see if either team can find any picks that enable them to go for the Baron, as Priamphea and B-Tang will just get a little bit of damage onto this mid lane outer turret. As we're going to be getting an engage around the bot lane. Tibbs getting caught out by the Hextech ultimatum. Can he find any way through it? World Ender has come through. He'll flash out. Mike is in the middle of 2. He will sacrifice his life. The shutdown gold going over onto Rats Camille. There's final spark coming through. Not going to be able to find enough damage. Tibbs so low. He's got a back. Actually can dodge and find the undertow. He can. He's going to be able to cancel it. He uses the blast cone to catch the axe. Sends another undertow going and will be able to pick up the kill. As now you got Priamphea and B-Tang. They are going to be able to find the turret in the mid lane, but they have to be careful because they might be getting caught out now. As DT, yes, speaking of getting caught out, in comes the hookshot. They can't quite find the damage. They get DTS super low, and they're going to force him to back off.
Tibbs did not need to be there. You were right next to your Nexus base. You could have just walked in. There was no reason to be in that bush. But, what can you do? Also, even if, he died during that initial chase, it would have been better than getting the 600 gold shutdown onto a Camille. That was not worth it in either sense, and it just became worse with his extra death.
Yeah. Good stuff coming through from the side of Dynasty. We saw them in game 1 finding these really good picks, and it's seeming like it's history is repeating itself in game 2.
That it is. And we have the Kai'Sa, who I think actually, you know what? No. They're still kind of equal in gold in the bot lane, so it's not really that bad, but that actually is pretty bad, because Kai'Sa scales much harder than Caitlyn does. So Caitlyn either wants to get ahead or start putting this Kai'Sa behind somewhat. Otherwise, she's just going to steamroll over this Caitlyn.
Oh, hookshot coming in from Rat, but the TP straight in as a response. That's a good Dragon Rage kick. Hexa ultimatum will do nothing at all. The TP coming in from Bishop, but he's going to have to run for his life as... Oh, that's going to be the Infernal Chains coming through the flash from Bishop. That's a perfect execution. Can they find the kill? Yes, they can. Friesman burning the final spot to try to find the damage, but now he's in a really sticky situation as Tibbs not going to fully commit. He's going to back off, and this time the picks on the side of First Blood Marauders.
Yeah, Kai'Sa did not need to TP there by herself. I understand what she was thinking, trying to save the tower, but she was by herself with 4 people, and 3 of them are made to dive you. That was just not a smart play right there. So good on the Marauders for, you know, taking advantage of it.
And speaking of the good old changes to TP that mean you can't cancel it anymore. I feel like almost he saw that, you know, his teammate's in trouble. Right, I'm going to TP in, and then he's like, oh no, there's all 4 of them there. This is a bad idea.
And you can't cancel it no more because, you know, being able to channel it like, what, is it a second or a second and a half faster? Makes up for not being able to cancel it anymore.
I feel like at the start of the game, you should be able to choose between the 2 different TPs.
It's like, do you want to be able to cancel it and you know, channel for another second, or channel it a little bit faster and can't cancel it?
Oh, that's a great steal coming in from Mike. The engaged Frozen 2 from Kessler. But he's gonna actually be able to find the kill onto DTS. Right onto Tibbs. Tibbs will get taken down. That's a good Hexic ultimatum, and overall he's 2 kills for nothing. And we talked about Dynasty finding picks. Dynasty have found 2 picks, and there's a very, very juicy Baron on the Rift.
Alright, I actually don't know how he was able to steal the Baron, seeing that Olaf was a level ahead. But here it is again. Olaf is still a level ahead. He shouldn't be able to take this Baron. We got Camille, you know, zoning out the Lee Sin over there. Caitlyn's taking pot shots.
Oh, there comes the engage. Mike coming in. He wants to find the kill, but the Baron's not low enough. Bishop with the killer instinct will pick up the kill. B-Tang finds the kill onto Friesen, and Baron gets taken down, and so does B-Tang. That's gonna be the ace for 2, ace for 1, as that is massive, absolutely massive for Dynasty eSports.
Yep, they lost the drag, but they got the Baron and an ace worth of kills. I would say it's worth. I'd be in all chat going like all planned, by the way.
All planned, calculated, and good, really good stuff from Dynasty eSports so far. And I almost feel like, you know, we talked about it at the end of game 1 that Dynasty had done so well in terms of finding these picks. They've gone for now. They've picked up the Lux. They've picked up the Olaf. We said that this was almost some form of disrespect, you know, saying to First Blood Marauders, this is how you play these champions. And all credit to them. They're playing their comp so well.
Yep, they are, and it's only 21 minutes into the game, so Olaf is still relevant. Not only that, he's very much ahead. Kaisa, who is very much a late game champion.
Oh no, the collapse coming in. Will they go for DTS? No, they're going to back off. Mike is here. Brass going to have to be a little bit careful, though.
That Q from Camille, though. Look at Akali. Where did your health go, my friend? But yeah, going back to basically the comps. Kaisa is very much a late game champion, and she already has her Gwynsos, and she's stacking up that Manamune. The only real reason why Caitlyn was able to do so much damage during the Baron fight was because they were focusing Baron. She was literally just taking pot shots. In an actual fight, Kaisa is going to be the real big problem, and...
Oh, Rad's looking for the engage onto DTS under turret. He's going to be forced to back up. Sonic Wave comes through, followed by Resonating Strike. Friesen burns the stopwatch, but that's a good engage as Rad's going to pick up the kill onto Mike. Rad under the Infernal Chain will burn the Hexic Ultimate, and Final Spark finds the kill. Rad gets taken down by DTS. Friesen finding the kill onto DTS in return, as DTS will flash away to safety, as Bishop absolutely deletes Priamphea. It's 3 kills for 1. The base is cracked open. Dynasty on the first inhibitor of the game. They will take the inhibitor. They will back off with a hefty 6k goal lead, and that's a good job.
Again.
Oh no, the light binding comes in, followed by the frozen path. Tang will be able to escape. However, Jordan's really low. Sonic Wave followed by the Resonating Strike. Jordan will get taken down, and possibly a little bit too much aggression from Dynasty.
Kaisa got the kill, though. Kaisa got the kill.
Oh, Kaister was actually able to find the kill onto Tang. TP's coming in. Dynasty want to keep this going. Bishop finding the kill. He's on a rampage. As now DTS, he's using the the shroud. Will be able to escape. Hookshot coming in. Will be able to find some C2C onto Preempt Fire. Dynasty might just go for the end here. They're on to Nexus Turret 1. There's a 24-second cooldown onto Tibbs. Here comes the TP from Dorjan. They will get Nexus Turret number 1. But this time, they will actually back off for reals. Oh, that's a good engage. Perfect execution coming in. DTS trying to stall the backs, but he's going to get taken down. And it's an absolute bloodbath.
This is exciting, but for all the wrong reasons. People want to go back, but people want to fight, but then they want to go back, but then they want to fight. I was actually going to be pretty sad that, like, oh no, okay, he's fine. I was pretty sad that, like, that TP was going to go to waste, but, I mean, they were able to get a kill off of it, so I guess.
Good.
Yeah, but now people need to breathe and chill a little bit.
Yeah, and speaking of breathing, there is a Cloud Drake on the Rift. That's something really to calm you down, as the control wards will get put down. I'm not sure if First Blood Marauders can really contest this.
And I don't think they should. Yes, it is a decent drink to have now, but it's not one of those make it or break it drinks.
As the next Baron going to be up in just over a minute, and Dynasty, they're so strong right now. We talked about in the drafting phase that First Blood just fall off getting to when they get to that late stage of the game. Is it already over for them, or is there any, you know, actual solid way for them to get back into this game?
Well, right now, Caitlyn isn't really a win condition for them. Their win condition is their divers. Can their divers get onto their targets and kill the targets that they're going for? If they can get those picks, I think they have a chance. But everybody...
Oh, Rat's in the base. He's looking to find the damage onto Dibs. He's split pushing this as the rest of the members of Dynasty pushing in this top lane as they're looking to get the final inner turret. And Rat, he just backs off. He's just staying here. He is not scared at all, as the inner turret will be falling, as Bishop will secure that. How are First Blood gonna play around this, as right now Dynasty looking to get a second inhibitor turret?
I just realized that Rat is 2 levels above Aatrox.
Oh, speaking of Rat, looking to find the play onto Tiff. He's going to be able to find something on DT, as we talked about the divers. One diver is down. There comes the Sonic Wave, followed by the Resonating Strike. The Triumph proc will come in as Friesman picks up the kill. Frozen Tomb will come in. It's going to be 1 kill. Void Seeker, followed by the Killer Instinct, will clean it up. 4 kills for Dynasty. 1 Nexus turret remaining. First Blood, they were undefeated. They were 6-0. Make it 6-2 as Dynasty eSports move to the top of the ABL standings.
Congratulations, Dynasty.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And it felt to me anyway, at the start of game 1, they felt a little bit behind, but we kind of expected. But aside from that, they just felt in control of everything.
Yep, they played their win condition as they needed to, and it worked out. It really did. And this Olaf actually made sure that he got a lead and kept that lead and didn't fall off after a while. And this game was closed out really quick, 27 minutes. Before, like, you know, the time where it starts to get a little iffy for the Olaf. But again, they had the insurance of the Lissandra and the Kaisa. So even if Olaf was useless, he's still a body. As long as he's a body to stand in front of the Kaisa, he did what he needed to do.
Yep, and we kind of talked about it in game 1 as well. You know, when we saw the Olaf, there was a tank job, and every time the Olaf used a Ragnarok, as we said, Ragnarok doesn't let you go through walls. But from the side of First Blood Marauders, there was nothing like that in this game to allow them to deal with that Ragnarok.
Nope. The only thing they had was a Lee Sin, and Lee Sin can't kick a Ragnarok Olaf. And in all honesty, I'm not too sure if you want to kick an Olaf without Ragnarok anyway.
However, if you had to pinpoint one player, Koyaki, who would it be to be your MVP of this series?
I think I would have to give it to Rat. If anything, just for this game, he played it very, very well. Even when he was getting a bit nicked in the top lane, that split push at the end was very, very clean.
All right, well, hopefully we can get a Rat in for a quick interview. Oh, there he is. We just stole you away. What were you talking about with your team just now?
Oh, I was just saying I have no idea why Now thinks that he taught me everything I know. I don't know where he's getting that from.
Okay, but Rat, this is your, well, second time in 2 weeks you're here. It's becoming a bit of a common occurrence, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. It's bound to happen 2 times in a row eventually, right? Just coincidence.
Oh, I mean, great stuff from you, but one thing I want to mention, and actually Koyaki found quite interesting. Game 1, the Camille with the Arcane Comet, what was your thoughts actually going against that?
The Arcane Comet choice or just the pick?
Yeah, the Arcane Comet choice.
I think that's fine, but to be honest, when I saw that, I was kind of relieved. Like, it seems like it probably has less kill pressure, and you need the kill pressure against Vlad, I think. But maybe it's correct, I don't know. It didn't really do too much. I think he could have been a little more aggressive in lane at times, but maybe they didn't have good vision on our jungler. I don't know.
Well, in my opinion, I thought it was kind of... I think it was more of just a disrespect towards you to try and get, you know, some more damage off of you during the early game. But, so what made you pick Vladimir in the first game, in all honesty?
Vladimir, we used to play him a lot, and I guess Dorjan said that he was taking a dump, and he thought, why are we not picking Vladimir anymore? And I'm like, you know what, that's a good point. So we picked Vladimir.
Okay,
that is brilliant.
Best reason, you know, best reason. All right. And what made you pick Camille this time? Is it just because it was open?
I've practiced that matchup a lot into Aatrox. It's my most comfortable against that, so that's really it.
Also, I saw that you were having like a little bit of trouble during, like, I think it was like around 15 minutes. He was doing a bit more damage to you. Is that just because Aatrox mechanics, or were you not respecting?
Well, yeah, he's pretty good at Aatrox, and I think I was misplaying trades, so yeah. Luckily, that matchup you just kind of inevitably win later on in the side lane, so it didn't really matter my misplays early on. I definitely should have won more. I should have won the lane more with my 2 kills, so that's my bad. But
either way, you didn't feed. That's the main thing. Also, when you were split pushing at the end of, you know, this last game, you basically were 3v1ing. What were you telling your team when you were just down there dancing in the base?
I was not telling my team anything because I had to focus. I immediately after, I'm like, sorry, I couldn't talk there.
Well, I saw the amount of focus because you literally had 3 people on you, and I'm like, oh no, how are you still alive?
Yeah.
Well, overall, you did a great job, in my opinion.
Thank you.
A final question I've got for you. Right, you played against Recon 5 last week. They were the current champions. This week you played against top of the standings First Blood. They hadn't lost a single game. You guys have beaten, you know, your 2 main contenders. You're top of the standings now, but I want to have your opinion. Recon 5 versus First Blood Marauders. Who are you tipping for that game?
Ooh, this is tough because I'm friends with everyone on Recon, but I think First Blood is better. And that's kind of BM because they did take a game off us and FBM didn't. But I think generally FBM is going to play better than that. And I wasn't too impressed with the macro play from Recon, even though they do have good individual players.
Okay, well, we heard it here then from our MVP, right? First Blood Marauders to take the victory over Recon 5. Actually, I can't quite remember when they play. I think it's actually right at the end of this season, week 7, so should be a spectacular game. However, that has been it for today, as Dynasty eSports taking down the First Blood Marauders with a 2-0 clean sweep to move to the top of the standings. And from myself and from Koyaki, we want to say thank you for tuning in, and we wish you the very best. Have a good night.